Everybody new mind. Congratulations, it's time to shine. Pounds go down, confidence rise. Real talking, no filters, no lies. GLP-1 journey in review. Learn something new. Come join us for great interviews. You. Way down, hope up.
Hi, everybody. Lori, GLP-1 Journey in Review. So today I'm going to talk to you about some meal substitutions or just some healthier choices for some meals. Excuse me for looking at my phone a little bit, but that's where I have my notes on this one. Please hit that like and subscribe button if you find this useful at all. Less than half of you are actually subscribed, which I don't understand, but smash that subscribe button. It really does help. I would really appreciate it. So let's say you want a burger. You don't want to go to McDonald's. Maybe you do want to go to McDonald's, but is that the healthiest way? Probably not. So what I would do is I would go to the store and I would look for some grass-fed beef, and I would make my hamburger out of that. If I really wanted to do better, I would get some ground turkey or some ground chicken, and I would make my burger out of that. Either way, they make delicious burgers. You could season them all you want. You could put some extra like cheese in them, extra seasonings. You can make them delicious. Now, as far as the bun, do you need the bun? That's up to you. What your calories are and what your carbs are and what they have been. But there are options. You could have it like a lettuce wrap. I really enjoy that. And you get some greeny vegetables, green leafy vegetables besides. That's always a choice. There's what they call sandwich thins that are only part of the calories. And let's not forget that there's keto bread and keto buns. There's sprouted bread, all sorts of choices. And you don't have to have the whole burger in the bun. You could just half and half. So there's plenty of choices. Now, if you want French fries with it, again, your carbs. If you're having a bun, then maybe a carb overload. Only you know that. Again, nothing's off limit. It's moderation is the key. But if you're going to have fries, I would suggest you put them in the air fryer. It's a lot healthier than actually having them deep fried. That's just my choice. I don't really do fast food. If I was going to do fast food, I probably would order one of the burgers. If I insisted on having the bun, I may go with the child's menu or just the regular hamburger, or I would just have the regular burger, take the bun off, maybe ask for some extra lettuce in there so you could keep the lettuce and the pickles and the tomatoes and all that kind of stuff. I'm not too into fast foods, but that's how I would do it. Now, let's say you want Chinese food, but there are some healthier Chinese foods, but you do not know about the sodium and so forth and what they actually put in it. I find that stir fry is an excellent option. And so I don't use so much oil. I'll put a little bit of chicken broth in there. So it's like half fried, half steamed a little bit. And again, light soy sauce. I don't really add sugar to it. Sometimes I will put some no sugar brown sugar in there. I think Swervy, I think, makes it. If not, I think there's a half and half, or you don't really even need it. That's totally up to you. You get your veggies. You know if you want how crispy you want them or how cooked you want them. And as far as the rice, brown rice is also a great choice if you're going to have it. You could have it with quinoa. There's also riced cauliflower that when you're making a nice big stir fry, you almost can't tell the difference. Yes, there's a difference between that and fried rice. Again, everything in moderation. So that's what I do when I want Chinese. Now, what about pizza? Pizza is one of everybody's favorite foods, and I'm not going to deny that I haven't had pizza while I've been on this lifestyle change. I have. But instead of eating the 3 or 4 pieces of pizza, I only eat one. Another option, there's cauliflower pizza. Still not super healthy, but a lot healthier than regular pizza. There's also the flatbread pizzas. Again, look at what the ingredients are. look at what the calories and all the other macros are, what the carbs are, and make an educated decision. You may want to make it yourself and know what all the ingredients are. That's an option too. I know that some of the carryouts are now actually getting uh, the cauliflower crust pizza. And to me, I don't really see too much of a difference. I like that. That's it. Now, as far as like any of the breaded chicken or breaded fish, a little bit's okay. Instead of throwing it in the frying pan, I put it in the air fryer. I use my air fryer a lot, probably 98% of the times that I cook. I can't even tell you when the last time I actually used my oven. Living in South Florida, who wants to heat up their whole house with the oven where an air fryer is quicker, it leaves things crispier. You don't have to have it on fry, you can have it on bake or roast. So you can make almost anything in there. But like I said, if I'm gonna have either some fish with a little bit of breading or chicken with a little bit of breading, I'll put it in the air fryer. Much healthier choice. I have one of these little sprayers of olive oil where I think each spray is a quarter of a teaspoon, and that's really all you need because I use the liners that are coated anyhow so things don't stick so much. And that's what I do. Again, another option like for chicken parmesan, you don't really necessarily even need the breading. You could go ahead and make the chicken and you could put on like a pasta sauce with no sugar added and some cheese and just put it in the air fryer another 2, 3 minutes to melt the cheese, put it on air fryer or on broil, and it's a delicious version of chicken parmesan without the breading and no frying. But like I said, have it the way you like it because you should enjoy the food, and remember, moderation is the key. Now, some of the fish I like breaded, so sometimes I'll take the fish and I'll put it in some egg, and I'll put a little bit of panko and parmesan because I don't want it totally breadcrumb, and I'll put it in the air fryer for 10 minutes, and I'll cook it that way, and to me, it tastes just as good, if not better, because it's healthier in the air fryer than I would in the frying pan. And another little thing that I learned when I was growing up is my mother really wasn't much of a cook, period, let alone fish. So she would take some fish and she would put it like a couple pieces in a 9 by 9 Pyrex dish with a little bit of spaghetti sauce or pizza sauce, whichever you prefer. Again, no sugar added, with some cheese and some seasonings, and just bake that for about 10 minutes. And it was like a fish parmesan, and it was good. Yeah, very healthy. Again, you could use a less expensive fish because it's got all this other food on it, the pizza sauce and the cheese and the seasonings and so forth. So again, it was a little economical, really good tasting, and very healthy. There's always alternatives if you have to have something crunchy, then several companies make protein chips or protein crackers. That's up to you how much of that you have. And I always mention this, my favorite is the peanut butter, like Reese's peanut butter cup, which are way too sweet for me now. I'm used to the Quest, and there's 5 different brands that make them, and to me, they're better because 'cause they're not as disgustingly sweet, as still have a sweet tooth once in a while. As far as ice cream, if you have a really good blender, you could take frozen fruit with just a little bit of, let's say, like Fairlife milk or something along those lines. I put a little bit of my favorite is stevia in there, blend it on up, and it's an ice cream. I don't have that often. There are better alternatives. Some people will put some yogurt in it and so forth. There's plenty of recipes out there. I know that they make like ice cream machines that now you can look up for healthier versions of ice cream that are very similar and let the machine do the work. Totally up to you. I just want you to know that there are other options out there. And I'm not saying all the time. Yeah, once in a while, have your ice cream, have your piece of cake. There's black bean brownies, which to me are almost as good as cake. Again, not all the time, but like I said, when you have that sweet tooth, I just want you to know that there's options out there and we could do this. We can make these lifestyle changes. Again, not permanent. Well, the lifestyle is permanent, but these changes, switch them out when you have to have that food that you don't really think you should be having. That way you're having a healthier version of it. Let me know in the comments what you think, what your favorite swap for food is. I'd love to hear from you. And I'm starting my contest back up. For today's contest, if you're a subscriber, and I check, so smash that subscribe button and you put emoji of an umbrella or write the word umbrella, you'll be entered in the contest to win an Amazon gift card. So again, let me know what you think, what your substitutes are, and if you have any other tricks like that. Love to hear from you.